When it comes to the topic of the day, I want to start with thanking each and every one of you for being here and letting Mr. McMillan know that your driver, your operators, your entire transit family are in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you for your continued service and what you're doing each and every day to help make public transit the safest it can possibly be. Mr. Keel, I'm going to start with you. When people think about public transit, most imagine a big, busy New York City and a subway to go along with that. Public transit in Alabama is very different. We rely on buses, especially in our rural areas. People use these buses to get to work, to buy groceries, to see the doctor, or to head to church. Mr. Keel, I am a huge fan of Greenville, South Carolina, and I believe it has a lot of similarities with communities all across the great state of Alabama. Just as in Greenville, transit operations in Alabama are tailored to the needs of the individual community or area. And I, for one, am a believer that local leaders know best. So based on your experience, do you believe that local communities should be able to make decisions regarding the transit needs of their unique community?
In one word, absolutely. And I think that we demonstrate that mostly because we have a very tight-knit community. We have a lot of feedback from our county, from our local city government, and even from our legislative delegation that appoints members onto our board of directors. And because of that, and because of the great staff that we have, ultimately there are a lot of decisions that we do have the ability to make locally around some of the regulation that is provided to us.
So based on those comments, I imagine you would agree local transit authorities, civic leaders are best suited to decide what type of buses they need, whether it be diesel, compressed natural gas, electric powered buses, because each and every community is different. I will say in Alabama, we have a problem with lack of range. So from Demopolis in our more rural area, when they come to the big city in Montgomery, they can't actually make that trip and get back without recharging. So it's frustrating that this administration has been pushing local communities to conform to the Green New Deal agenda and transit to green energy and green transit. I don't have to tell you that there is also, in addition to things like lack of range, there's a cost component that is incredibly hard for some of our communities, particularly in our rural areas. So in your experience, is it realistic or cost effective to force communities to have a one-size-fits-all policy when it comes to busing?
I don't think so at all. I think that the capital costs alone are something that smaller communities struggle with. Finding local match requirements for grants can be exceptionally difficult. And all of this is, with the assumption that the utility in the area has the power to be able to support the demand on the in South Carolina that we really don't see those issues, but some of our more rural areas certainly do. And there are, quite frankly, some other opportunities out there that in the short term are better as this bleeding edge technology continues to develop.
And let's lean into that. I only have a few more seconds, but when it comes to natural disasters, unfortunately, Alabama is no stranger to them, whether it's hurricanes or tornadoes. In that same time period, the need to be able to have a vehicle that you can be used without charging is essential.
I would definitely agree with that. The biggest kind of challenge that we face with a lot of the battery electric technology is that it works good as long as all conditions are normal, meaning that you have good weather, you have had time to charge, you've had time to deploy. In the event that you have a natural disaster that you need to be able to send a bus to or send it across the state to help evacuate the low country of South Carolina, we also would not be able to deploy that battery electric fleet to do that. So having the flexibility to have other fuel sources, whether it's compressed natural gas, or we wait a few years and we have hydrogen technology, it's exceptionally important to be able to have that flexibility in our system.
Thank you so much, Mr. Keel. I am out of time, and I will submit my questions for the record for you all. Certainly want to know how we can make public transit safer and better for every rider. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Britton. You as witnesses don't know this, but she is a freshman and she has sat through these hearings more than anyone else, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for that. And asking intelligent questions, quite a combination.